If you're a Hunter main, you need to forget everything you know about Destiny because I have the greatest build ever. Okay, not really. It's more of a meme build that couldn't hold up in a Grandmaster Nightfall, but it's still a lot of fun. Hello, my fellow weirdos. How are you today? I apologize for sounding nasally and just like crap. I am sick, and according to WebMD, I'm either pregnant, some jerk gave me the Rona, or I'm having a heart attack, but I haven't quite decided which one it is yet, so bear with me in my heavy breathing. It sucks too, because I had this whole weird Ghost on Guardian intro skit planned out, like I used to do when I first started making videos, but I can't quite do the voices if I can't breathe, so you just get me in my crappy intro today. Yay! Anyways, do you like meme builds? I love them. It's one of my favorite things about Destiny because I like doing dumb stuff. It's kind of my MO. Just last week, I made a goofy video using the Severance Enclosure for the Titan, and a subscriber that goes by the name John posted a comment talking about using it with Explosive Wellmaker. That brilliant comment got me thinking about all kinds of dumb stuff. So today, we're making a fun Bombardier build with said Explosive Wellmaker. Thank you, John, because I have been cracking up for days with this build. So, without wasting any more time, and mainly because I can't breathe or talk, let's get into this. The first thing we need to talk about is the subclass. I know everyone hates the Blade Barrage, but if you can get over the fact that it only hits the target like 60% of the time, and appreciate the rest of the skill tree, then we're good. So just pretend it's the greatest super in the game. Yeah, thanks. Our best friends are Gambler's Dodge, Knife Trick, Burning Edge, and Playing with Fire. So pretty much the whole middle tree excluding the super itself, because this subclass is self-sustaining. It doesn't really need any outside help to synergize, which is why I feel it's such a good choice for this build. The throwing knife burns targets, which procs Burning Edge and Playing with Fire to boost the recharge rate of your melee and dodge, and Gambler's Dodge fully restores melee energy when dodging near enemies. You couldn't ask for a better combination because this whole build is all about dodging and melees. But I'm sure most of you know the subclass by now, so I won't get into too much detail. Not that there's a ton of detail in the first place, but you know what I mean. So let's talk armor. We will need at least 2 pieces of solar and 1 arc affinity for the mods. I used a solar helmet and arms, and then arc for the chest piece. This way I had some options on the legs and cloak. On the helmet, you already know I'm using the artifact version of hands-on for the faster supers for melee kills, because I seem to use it for every build these days. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's free super energy. We're also using Explosive Wellmaker to spawn a solar elemental well when killing at least 2 or more enemies with explosive damage. This includes rocket launchers, chain reaction, grenades, and anything else that goes boom. Sadly though, it doesn't work for Warmind cells. Could you imagine? I'd have a field day. On the arms, we're using Impact Induction to reduce grenade cooldown when causing damage with a melee. Thermoplastic Blooming from the artifact to create an orb anytime you kill an enemy with the solar or stasis melee. And Well of Life for the 10-second boost to health regen when picking up a solar elemental well. As long as there are ads, you will always have solar wells. Trust me. Whew, I gotta take a breather in between these. For the chest piece, I used Arc Resistance as the minor mod, but that was only to get the secondary perk active on the Charge Light mod, Reactive Pulse. This mod emits a burst of arc energy when surrounded and taking damage. The secondary perk gives you a powerful overshield while performing a finisher. I have said this before and I will continue saying it. This mod is slept on, especially if you're an up close and personal type of player who likes to get in there and fight instead of sitting back with your linear fusion rifle like a no ball having Guardian. It'll knock enemies back and give you some breathing room if you get surrounded. And with this build, you are constantly charged with light, so it's always bouncing ads around. Okay, this is where the fun starts to happen. You know those exotic legs called the Bombardiers? The ones with the bongos and drumsticks? Or are they chopsticks? I don't know. Either way, they got a buff a while back, so now they're even better. When you dodge or roll or queef or whatever the hell hunters are calling it these days, the I love my hunters, I'm just messing with you guys. The Bombardiers release a little bomb that does something different depending on what subclass you're using. In our case, because we're using solar, they burn the targets after the initial explosion, and you'll never guess what burning the target can activate. That's right, the Burning Edge, which significantly reduces your dodge cooldown. More dodges equal more explosions. But that's not all. Oh no. The explosion itself can proc Explosive Wellmaker, as long as you kill at least 2 ads. And I'm sure you're probably saying to yourself that the explosion is meh, and you're right, it is, but not when paired with Reactive Pulse, which weakens the ads for you. Yeah, See where I'm going here? The mods I chose for the Bombardiers are Absolution, Invigoration, and Melee Wellmaker to reduce ability cooldowns when picking up orbs and to create elemental wells when getting powered melee final blows. The melee is extremely important for this build because of the mod Melee Wellmaker, and this ties back into why I chose the middle tree on the subclass. Most people would probably go for the bottom tree to instantly get your melee back after a successful critical kill with the throwing knife. Usually, I would too, but sometimes when you're deep in the shit, you miss with the throwing knife. With the middle tree, the playing with fire perk stacks up to 3 times and has a timer, so even if you miss or things don't go your way, you can still get your melee back fast without Gambler's Dodge. And the last piece of the armor is the cloak, which just so happens to be my favorite part of the Hunter attire. Who remembers all those sexy cloaks from Destiny 1? I used to collect every one of them like they were Pokemon cards or something. The mods I chose are Distribution, Bomber, and Elemental Charge. Distribution and Bomber reduce ability cooldowns when using your class ability, and Elemental Charge gives you 2 stacks of charge with light when you pick up an elemental well that matches your subclass. The reason I put Melee Wellmaker and Elemental Charge on the legs and cloak is because they have no affinity tied to them. I feel that these 2 armor pieces have some of the most potential in customization when it comes to your stats. This way, you have some options to use whatever minor mods you prefer, depending on the element of the armor, or to help compensate for whatever stat is the lowest. For me, it's all the stats, so I need as much help as I can get. Now to make all this come together, the only thing we have to do is get a charged melee kill. It's that simple. When we do, it'll activate Playing with Fire, Thermoplastic Blooming, and Melee Wellmaker all at the same time. Playing with Fire will speed up our melee regeneration, Thermoplastic Blooming will drop an Orb of Power, and Melee Wellmaker will drop a Solar Elemental Well. When you pick up the Solar Well, you'll gain 2 stacks of Charge with Light to keep Reactive Pulse going from the mod Elemental Charge, and get a serious boost to your health regeneration from Well of Life. You're also going to be dropping orbs everywhere from Thermoplastic Blooming, which will continuously feed into Absolution and Invigoration to reduce your ability cooldowns and help speed up your super regeneration. If that wasn't enough for you, we still have Grenades, the Bombardiers, and Reactive Pulse to deal with. Between those 3, you'll be dropping even more Elemental Wells from Explosive Wellmaker. And don't forget, every Elemental Well you pick up will give you a little chunk of your ability energy back. So between the Elemental Wells, the skill tree, Bombardiers, the orbs, and mods, you're in this continuous feed of ability regeneration with consistent melees. And because we have consistent melees, we get our supers back much faster from the artifact version of hands-on. It's just an endless loop of melees, dodging, and explosions. What more could you ask for? When it comes to the weapons, I can sit here and try to give you some perfect matches, but the truth is, this build works great with everything I used. I started off with the Monte Carlo for the melee and bonus damage, then swapped to the Bad Juju for faster supers. I even went with the Toaster at one point for Explosive Wellmaker, but I kept finding myself not using the weapons at all, so this is the part where I say to you, use whatever you enjoy using the most. I know that was some deep stuff, right? If you're looking for a high DPS build, then this ain't it. But if you just want an all-around fun build for the Hunter to goof off with, then this is perfect. It's not some endgame, speedrun, solo raid build, just fun, that's it. That's the only thing it can be. I really hope you enjoy the build. I know I didn't go into crazy detail about it. I seriously just can't breathe. But I've been having a lot of fun with it, so I wanted to put it out there. If you found the video helpful, a like would be awesome. But more importantly, stay true to yourself and be good to one another. That's it. Thank you. And don't get sick. Eat some oranges.